Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Sympathy Kiss, continuing Usui's route. And yeah, he didn't break his hand saving our thick skull from a concrete wall. Sprained his wrist, can't work. We're coming up with some kind of plan. We don't know what the plan is yet, but she's got something. So a few days later, after finishing a solid draft, I went to present my idea to Director Kobase. I hope we get to hear what it is, because you know it has something to do with helping him, but thankfully I had already set an appointment with him through the company's system. Well, you certainly look confident. All right, let's hear what you have. I thanked the director for his time and handed him the proposal I created. A special on hideaways for working adults. Ah ha ha! A nice special, and then we'll help him get publicity that way, because it's a nice little hideaway bar. I get, okay, all right, I see where you're going. This was my grand idea. The column that would target adults looking to hide away from their busy lives and find a place to relax. Daily life can be exhausting, so you plan to show people how to recover from burnout and fatigue. Don't leave the house. Ever. Done. It's kind of generic, isn't it? Doesn't seem all that different from a lot of specials I see floating around. I agreed with him. If the column's article simply listed places to relax, it'd be trite and banal. Or banal? Is it banal? I don't know. However, my project plan was to tackle the concept with a novel, eye-catching approach. Hot men! Yes! No. We'd cover the content by working while you interview. Reported news needs to be concise, accurate, and thorough. So our idea on this is like, let's talk about fun places to relax after work, like hideaways, secret bar, like tiny little hole-in-the-wall places that people don't know about, that everyone's going to know about because you put them on your app. But whatever. Okay? But so that'll help Usui get business, because we'll talk about Evergreen, right? But the way to do that is we'll interview him while I'm working there, so I can help. This is the dumbest fucking idea they've put in here. Like, you know, all the other kind of ideas for columns and stuff that they kind of had that tried to tie it into a route. You know what I mean? Like, oh, we'll have a cooking column and with videos and stuff like that for Nori. Okay, let's go talk to idols and stuff. Okay, sure. But this is oddly specific and so doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Like, maybe it'll make sense as they go, but like, right now it's like, okay, well, we're gonna talk about like cute little out-of-the-way places, little-known bars that people don't know about. Okay, all right. While I work there, I'll interview him and like pretend I'm working there. Just so that you could help him out. That's a way to get you to be able to work there and help him. That ties into the I just no. Writers, go sit in the corner. Just go sit in the corner and think about what you've done. Because this is dumb. Like, I get why you're doing this. I absolutely get it. But that doesn't mean it was a good... Just because you could doesn't mean you should. It's a really dumb idea. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it makes no sense. I don't know. Anyway. If we focused on the accuracy and depth of our content, working at these establishments would be an efficient research method. But again, the whole point of the column is not, let's talk to you about the realities of owning a bar, the realities of working at a bar. No, it's, I'm going to recommend a really cool bar for you to relax at, and that's going to be accurate because I worked there cleaning dishes. Let me ask you something. If you were looking for a nice new bar to hang out at, and the person is like, I totally researched it by washing dishes there. You'd be like, and what's your fucking point? I'm not going there to wash dishes. I want to know, what are their drinks like? What's the atmosphere? What's the ambiance? What are the kind of people that hang out there? You know what I mean? Like, if it's a yuppie bar with like super rich, like fussy people, I'm not going to have fun. Is it a biker bar? Might not feel safe there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you want the bar to fit your vibe. So you telling me about the bar because you wash dishes makes no motherfucking sense. This was a bad pitch. But again, it's really only so that she can help Usui out for a week or whatever, and he doesn't lose business. It's really just so we can bang the man, but it is really stupid. Come on. Come the fuck on. Ah, dear God. Covering the behind the scenes of the hideaways would be a unique perspective. Again, yeah, but that's not what you're trying to go for. If you're trying to go for, like, the reality of working in these industries or something, you know, but like, or again, you get to know the staff of the place, but that has nothing to do with washing dishes there. You know what I mean? Like, they're trying really hard to make it fit, but you're really trying to put a square peg in a round hole. And it's not even like the round hole's bigger than the square peg, so it would fit. It's literally, it's not. It's like a giant fucking square that you're trying to fit into the teeny tiniest little. It's not working. Ain't working. And differentiating our content from other news apps and websites was the heart of our work now for Astarzi. The social media and the internet at large are overloaded with info. So if we could provide readers with more than the usual and superficial, it could garner a lot of positive attention. Still makes no sense, but whatever. They're trying really hard to make it work, but it's just not in my brain. It's like, no, this is dumb. But for this first edition, Amasawa, you intend to work at and reporting on one of these adult hideaways. You intend to work at and reporting on. Those are two different tenses of sentences you tried to put together. And now I need Tim and Ronald to sit in the motherfucking corner with the people who came up with this concept. Were Tim and Ronald the ones who came up with this concept and then they can't even type? Jesus Christ. Guys, stop. Stop. Put them back in the art department. They were good at that. They just get them out of here. Jesus. And you plan on working during their business hours and a bit after they close? If the first edition is successful, could we easily replicate the method for a second and third edition? The fact that he's even considering this... We slept with this man already, didn't we? And that's why he's thinking this is a good idea? Or he's desperate. I don't know. I honestly hadn't thought that far ahead, but I told him we certainly could. I see. Director Kobase thumbed through the proposal again, this time from the beginning. It was my first time putting together a document like this. Until then, I had exclusively done miscellaneous design work. Of course, I had Saotome, Oe, and Minato check through everything to make sure there were no major mistakes, but I was extremely nervous as Director Kobase read through the document without a word. All right, let's go with this. He's like, we got nothing else. Because if he was like, this is a great idea, I'd literally have to question my love for this man. I was taken aback by his quick decision. This should be good. Seeing as this is your first proposal, I thought you'd have a hard time with it. But this is quite well done. The proposal might be well done, but the idea is half fucking baked. Okay, it's not a good idea. So I still love this man, but... He gave me a sly grin, and my heart fluttered with joy at the successful completion of my first pitch. So any thoughts on where this first hideaway will be? The proposal mentions something about a bar, but... I told the director that I hadn't spoken to the owner yet, but I was considering Evergreen. Sui's place. That'll work. If you have to stay out late to work on the piece, adjust your daytime hours at Astario. Okay, again, it's the stupidest fucking idea for a proposal. I mean, let's talk about bars and hideaways and whatever and trying to get him some publicity so that people who are using the app might swing by and he gets more business. Okay, I'm behind that. And, like... trying to fit it in like we're going to do a piece, blah, 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 so that I can help him out while also not sacrificing my day job. Yes, I get what they're going for, but they just did it in a poor way because it's like, it doesn't, that's so dumb. But I don't really know any other way they could have worked it out to have us be able to help him out while being like, no, I totally got the go-ahead and I can adjust my daytime hours and it's totes cool. And he won't be like, no, about it. You know what I mean? I'm doing my day job while helping you out here and doing 2 jobs at once. You know, which is what they were going for, and cool, that's what we're gonna do, but they just did it in the most ridiculous fucking way? Because it really doesn't make any sense, but they got the outcome that they wanted, and I guess that's all that really matters, even if it's like, this was the stupidest way to do this, but what? Again, I don't know a better way to have come up with a proposal so that she was able to work there, you know, aside from being like, hey, let's tell people what it's like working in certain industries for young people who might be thinking about, you know, doing these other jobs. Let's tell them the reality of like working in or owning a bar, you know, while also then hitting up local businesses that maybe could like, you know, use some new customers and also workers so it'll draw people in because you could talk about the ambiance of the place, the kind of food or service they provide, right? While then also talking about what it's like working there and the environment and that aspect. So you're hitting 2 birds with 1 stone. No, you know what? That would have been a much better idea because then you got the people who want to visit the bar to hang out there, getting there, you know, figuring out if it matches their vibe. And then the people who might be looking for jobs or interested in the industry or getting the industry insider stuff, or might just find it interesting, like, oh, cool, you know? And maybe that's exactly like what they were trying to pitch here, but then they just didn't do it well. Like, maybe that's what they were going for. Like, hey, let's talk about these cool, like, hideaway places to relax, but let's talk about, like, the ambiance working there and all that stuff and the, you know, information that you don't see about the bars and places you hang out. Okay, cool, but that's not how they worded it. So I feel like they could have just worded it better to explain that angle, and then it would have made more sense. So I made it make sense. Even I don't know that that's what they were trying to go for, but it makes more sense this way. So that's what we're going to go with. We'll pretend. The writers can still sit in the corner because I should have done a better job. But anyway, I shouldn't have had to logic that out. You know what I mean? It should have been like, oh, okay, I get what they're going for. Not, this fucking doesn't make any goddamn sense. It's stupid as shit. Just to get me to be able to work there? The fuck? Like, that's the dumbest proposal. I mean, they haven't put a lot of, detail into the proposals because it's not the point. It's like, kinda, it's the background point. We're working for the Starcy app and we're trying to make it not go under, so we come up with columns that tie into our boyfriends. Yada yada, whatever. And they're not putting a lot of effort into those, but at least you're like, I kind of sort of see where you're going, and it kind of makes sense. This one is the one that makes the least amount of sense, but, you know, at any rate. In response to my surprise he would allow me to take time off, he shrugged. Of course you're working. Your time there will be considered work. I'll leave the details to you. And that said, clear things with OA and submit an estimated project timeline. And give regular progress reports once you start. So I'm basically getting paid to go work somewhere else. I mean, I'm all for that. I bowed to Director Kamase and gathered my things before leaving the office. Today was the day Usui said he planned to open the bar again for business. I knew he'd arrive there soon to prep for opening. I decided to go straight away. Good news! I got approval to work here, and my job's gonna pay me. So you don't have to pay me, and I'm gonna get paid a metric fuck ton to work here. I'm just saying. I'd wash dishes at a bar for the salary I'm getting paid at my job. Okay, cool. With the benefits and everything that I have? Shit, yeah. But that's not the reality of how shit works. I mean, damn. Evergreen's door jingled as it opened. Usui paused his work preparations and turned to the sound. Hello, Miss Amasawa. What are you doing here? I'm afraid we're not open just yet. Do you have a minute? I got permission! I feel like, do you have a minute? Do you have a minute? Instead of like, I got permission! And he's like, for what? I got permission from my daddy to date you, sweetie. Yeah, do you have a minute? Okay. Well then, let's talk. I wondered if he somehow knew what I came to say. He set down his cleaning supplies and sat down to face me, his face stiff. I sat directly in front of him and handed him a copy of the project document I had prepared and printed for him. Adult Hideaways, Edition 1, Evergreen. And to get an understanding of the bar you plan to work here? As Usui looked up at me in surprise, I smiled and asked him if he would let me. I knew you were concerned about my injury, but I never expected you to connect it to your work like this. I mean, to be fair, the way they presented the concept was bad. Okay. But the concept as we've worked it out and been like, this is the way we'll logic it. Okay. But her being like, let me find a way to help him and tie it into my work. This way I can kill two birds with one stone. Isn't genius, though. I'll give her that. You know what I mean? She's like, let me figure out a way to help him and also do my job at the same time. While also getting paid to do my job, which is going to be to help him. You can't fault her for that, I mean. But won't it be difficult for you to work for both Astario and Evergreen? Usui frowned at me, but I smugly explained that it would be fine. I could easily adjust my schedule, and I had no intention of slacking off on either job. Besides, my job at Astario was to facilitate new projects. In a way, he was helping me out too. You beat me. If you're really here to write up this Adult Hideaways piece, I see no reason to refuse. After expressing his approval, he stood up. Put on this apron and get to work, bitch! I'm just kidding. No, not today, though. I look forward to working with you. He outstretched his right hand, and I shook it firmly. I found a way to support Usui as well as use Astarcy to convey Evergreen's appeal to a larger audience. See, like that, okay? Like, you want it, you're gonna put it out there, get him publicity and everything, and like, what up? I get it, but you have to promise me you won't overdo it. In fact, to make sure you won't overdo it, I'll be keeping a close eye on you. Oh, I couldn't hope for anything less. The way he said he'd be watching me sounded a little dramatic, but I could tell that his concern for me was real. I'm here for, like, stern liquor daddy. I told Usui I'd do my best not to worry him and to make the project a success. Determination sparked inside me. There's just something wildly inappropriate. Determination sparked inside her, and I was going to say something wildly inappropriate about him sparking something. Never mind. But you know what? Have fun with that one. Listen. This man makes me stupid, and playing these games has made me a degenerate. So I really just... Today is not a good day for me to say appropriate things, is all we're getting at here. In that case, we'll need a way to keep in touch. Let me give you Evergreen's phone number. How about Ring as well? Ooh. Let's work hard. I will gladly work hard under you, sir. Are you going to work hard over me? On top of me? And never mind. She's bowing to, yeah, all right. Yeah, I'd like to. We exchanged Ring accounts, as Usui suggested. And so began my time at Evergreen. I didn't even see what his little icon was in this because I was too busy being inappropriate. We'll see it later. Don't worry about it. I changed into my new uniform and got ready for my first day of work at Evergreen. Usui started by explaining the basics to me. This is a bar. What? That is a door. People come into the bar through the door. Like, all right, I'm not an alien. And since this is your first day, I figured we should start simple. Washing dishes, cleaning surfaces, and serving customers. Whoa. I can handle the dishes and the cleaning surfaces, but customers? No, I draw the line at talking to people. All of that will be an enormous help, but remember that the primary focus is on gaining insight for your Astarcy article. No, my primary focus is on helping you and then getting into your pants. But right, Astarcy article, sure. That's like the bottom of the list. It's not quite at the bottom of the list, but it ain't the top. That's all I'm saying. Once you get used to that, you can try your hand at simple cooking and drink making. Ooh, he's gonna teach me how to make drinks. I feverishly scribbled notes as he showed me where the supplies were and how to use them. I'm assuming it's not normal, like, this is dish soap. This is how you clean a dish. Because, I mean, I think I would know that. I mean, knowing where they are is different in a bar, but, like, how to use them. How to use, like, a mop or a broom? What kind of cleaning supplies are we talking about? Well, that seems enough for one day. Any questions? I mean, there could be special cleaning products for, like, inside tall glasses, like tall skinny glasses that you can't get your hand in. You know, here's this little scrubby brush. This is what I use for these ones. You know, things like that that you wouldn't have at home, sure, but, you know. Explain to me how to use dish soap again? No, I'm just kidding. The most important thing about working at Evergreen? I'd say the most important thing is the spirit of hospitality. We must do all in our power to please our customers. I'm a customer, and I'd like you to do everything in your power to please me. Moving on. Oh, I need to leave. Asui's words brought me back to something he had said previously. That looks seriously delicious. Where'd you learn to cook like that? My family runs a small inn in Hot Springs. As a kid, I was always in and out of the kitchen, helping out where I could, and learned to cook along the way. Running a bar like this, I mostly prepare Western-style food, but I'd say I'm better at cooking Japanese food. I asked him if that spirit of hospitality was something he learned from growing up at an inn. He looks shocked. Look at his little shocked face. It's adorable. I love it. So he took a sharp breath. I wondered if I had broached a sensitive topic. Well, then he should never have mentioned it. It's not like we Googled the man and stalked him. No, nothing like that. Your question was unexpected, that's all. In a way, yes. I likely became aware of such things at a young age. Are there any other questions? Marry me? No? Well, then let's begin preparing to open for the evening. It was unusual for Asui to end a conversation so abruptly. I got the feeling that it'd be wise not to bring up his parents or the inn again. Oh, I can't wait for the family drama! Understood. Asui took an order from a nearby customer and got to work making the requested cocktail. Although the damage to his hand wasn't obvious anymore, I was still worried about him. Miss Amasawa, your hand stopped. What am I doing with my hand? Not the things I'm thinking. I shook myself back to the present after having been caught staring at him. I mean, that I'm definitely not going to get any work done because I'm going to be staring the whole time. What? Are you worried? Don't be. I'm taking care not to use my wrist unnecessarily. If you gotta shake a cocktail, you're gonna have to do it right-handed. Reassured by his explanation, I apologized for getting distracted. You know, I just realized that, like, if I were shaking a cocktail, it's easier to shake with my left hand than it would be my right. My right hand's stiffer. And I'm right-handed. That's another one of those weird things. I was just thinking about it, like, having a shaker in your hand and, like, shaking a cocktail up. Like, because I'm, like, now shaking my hands and I'm like, I have more fluidity in my motions with my left hand. My left wrist is floppier than my right one. My right one is stiffer. Maybe because I use my right hand to write and everything and I'm old, so, like, it's going to be arthritis over here. But, like, huh. Interesting. Not that I can't shake. I mean, you shake with both hands, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, or you could do it with both or one. But, like, if you did it with just your right hand, it'd just be stiffer. I'd get more fluid motion with my left. Huh. One more thing that I could probably do left-handed better than I can do right-handed. It's fucking weird. Huh. Anyway. Reassured by his explanation, I apologized for getting distracted. I mean, the man exists, therefore I'm distracted. Well, If you insist on staring at me, be sure to do so when you're not on the clock. Just kidding. Instead of scolding me, Usui teased me lightheartedly. No, he likes it. He kind of liked the attention, sir, and it's okay. I'll give it to you. Thinking about it, I had never seen Usui get upset with a member of his staff. Only once had I seen his face flush with anger. When the drunken man on the street had his hands on me. And let her go. She's clearly uncomfortable. I'll say it one last time. Let her go. I thought back to the look on his face in that moment. He remained calm and collected, but there was a threatening look in his eyes that I'd never seen before. Here you are. A white satin. White satin, a cocktail made with coffee liqueur, Galliano, and fresh cream. That sounds fucking delicious. We're learning making we're gonna make a fuck ton of drinks. Well, I thought back on the night. Usui said a finished cocktail in front of a customer. Thank you. And the mix of coffee liqueur and Galliano gives this cocktail blend a savory and sweet flavor. A blend of savory and sweet flavors with a subdued finish. An Italian liquor. Yeah, there you go. Well, liqueur, sorry. The cream ensures the drink has a mellow taste on the palate. Looking at his serene face now, it was impossible to imagine his eyes filled with fury. But that's exactly how they appeared the other night, and I feel like she'd be... Okay, well, happy, why? I guess happy would be because you're like, oh, he was angry on my behalf. That's so hot. But I feel like you'd really be sad, like, oh, God, I just hate the fact that he ever had that look on his face to feel angry. You know what I mean? Like, yes... he's angry on your behalf, which is kind of like, oh, that's sweet. But it's sad that he ever had to feel angry and you don't want him to feel angry. You know what I mean? It's like somebody being in pain, you know? Like, you think about, like, when you die, your family's going to be sad and you're like, oh, that's nice, they're going to miss me. But you're also like, but I don't want them to ever be sad because you love your family, I hope. And you're like, I don't want them to be sad because sad sucks. You know what I mean? So you'd be happy because, good you miss me. You should, you bastards. But you're also like, oh, I feel bad because I made them sad. Not that, you did it on purpose, but, So I feel like I can see where both of these are coming from, but they're both, to me, good responses. Like, oh, giggling because he was mad on my behalf. That's hot. But I feel like the better answer is, oh, I feel really bad that he was upset. Like, I know it's not my fault, but I don't ever want him to be upset like that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, upset, good. I felt guilty that I'd caused him so much worry. I wouldn't feel guilty about that. I would just feel bad that he ever felt angry because, negative emotions, while they exist and you need to have them and get them out, you don't really want to wish those on people, Usui was always there to make me feel better, like a warm ray of sunshine on a chilly day. I wanted to give him the same peace and serenity he gave me. I never wanted to give him cause to feel such anger again. Oh, she loves him as much as I love you. You're being fidgety bastard. Do you need to go potties? Hold on, all right, hold on. Hold on for the bird. You're getting fidgety. But she loves him as much as I love you because I don't ever want you to feel pain or anger. Or sadness, except for when you're being a bad bird and then I tell you you're a bad bird and I yell at you. Good boy. Oh, you really had to go potties, didn't you? Oh, I don't want you to have to feel tum-tum hurt because you had to hold your poopies. Oh, my poor booger face. You get yelled at sometimes because you're a big fat fucking jerk. So you should, you know what? You should love me enough to make me not want to call you a big fat fucking jerk face. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to have to yell at you and call you a big fat fucking jerk face. So stop being a big fat fucking jerk face. And I wouldn't have to. And then we'd both be happy. I wouldn't feel bad for calling you a jerk face. And you don't feel bad for doing jerk face things. So, I mean, I guess it's only one of us. Oh, you're a good boy. Today you're a good boy. You were a good boy yesterday, too. You're not always a good boy. No, you're not. Sometimes he's a beast, but I still love you anyway. Oh, even when you're a jerk face and I tell you you're a jerk face and I'm like, why the fuck do I have a bird? It's only in that hot second because I don't know what I would do without you. I couldn't live without you. I couldn't. It would be a miserable existence. I know, you're so cute. Okay, anyway. Stop distracting me with your cuteness. I wanted to give him the same peace and serenity he gave me. I never wanted to give him cause to feel such anger again. I think I read that, but those thoughts lingered as I worked. Later, as the customers started to dwindle, Usui called out to me. So, how was your first day? I told him that thanks to his mentorship, I got by without any major issues. I also told him that I had gained some interesting insights from my article. I'm glad to hear that. And and you think you can handle this in addition to your day job? I told him again that adjusting my work schedule wouldn't be a problem. Instead, I was more worried about whether or not I was properly helping him. I'll be honest, working hurts my hand more than I expected. But you've been very helpful and you're just getting started. Besides, working alongside a lovely girl like you keeps me on top of my game. Sir, saying shit like that proves you don't need to be on top of your game because you are on top of your fucking game. Because damn. His compliment was smooth and completely unexpected. My cheeks burned. Even though I knew he was flattering me, I wasn't able to shake my embarrassment. Flatter me left, right, front, and center. Do it all you want. I don't care if it makes me embarrassed. I'll giggle stupidly and enjoy every second of it. I giggled nervously and told him, a little ashamed at my immaturity, that I couldn't help but blush when he talked to me that way. That's because the man's sexy as fuck. Asui let out a sigh, his eyes wandering for a moment before they landed on me. In the beginning, I told you I cared about you because you reminded me of my sister. Well, I hope you don't mind me saying this, Miss Amasawa, but you remind me of my older sister. Oh, no, nothing like that. I meant that her personality reminds me of my sister. She was also a hard worker. My heart ached as I thought back to that evening's discussion. I'm sure that must have been upsetting, being told you resemble someone you've never met. Okay. So, like, he was like, in the beginning, I told you that you remind me of my sister. Remember that? And I'm like, are you going to try to tell me that you're trying to play it off because you actually have feelings for me? Because maybe this is not. Well, that's true. To be fair, he probably only has like 4 chapters, like some of the shorter routes. Because, like, Yofi only had like 4 chapters instead of the 6, right? Oh, no, you should have 6. Because you're a normal route. You're not a secret character. So we're not even halfway. I don't know if now's the good time for the romance reveal. But anyway, not the point. But this, like, I'm sure that must have been upsetting. Sounds kind of douchey. Did I expect you not to be like that? You know what I mean? Because it's like, remember when I said you reminded me of my sister? That was probably upsetting for you. Because, like, I know that you're into me and, like, saying you remind me of my sister probably hurt your feelings. Like, you know what I mean? I just feel like that phrasing is a little, like, because, like, how is it upsetting if somebody's like, you remind me of my sister? I'm just upset because I've never met your sister, so I don't know. I'd be like, oh, okay. Sure. How? It's not upsetting. It's a curiosity thing because you've never met this person. If they're like, oh, my sister's a flaming asshole, you'd be like, then I'd be upset by it. But I don't know your sister, so I don't know your thoughts on your sister, so I don't know if that's an insult or not. So I can't be upset by that. You know? But saying, like, that must have been upsetting is like, it was. Because we're like, I kind of have a crush on this guy, and he's like, you remind me of my sister. And we're like, oh, right through the heart. So it was upsetting, but for you to say that means that you think that I'm in love with you, and that might be true, but you're not supposed to know that and rub my face in it yet, dick. You know what I mean? You know? So it's like a weird phrase. Like, I know he's not trying to be a douche about it, but I'm like, I don't know about this line, you know? I'm sorry about that. I shouldn't have said it. And the more I get to know you, the more differences I see. I see you as wonderful just for being yourself. His words helped me realize why that conversation had bothered me so much. What I really wanted was for Usui to see me as myself, as a woman that he wants to sleep with. That's what it is. That's why him saying I reminded him of his older sister bothered me so much. No, she's like trying to cover. She's like, but I want you to see me for who I am, not because I remind you of your sister. Because again, that's a weird thing to be super upset about. You know what I mean? I mean, maybe not. You don't know his sister, so you're like, okay, curious. I can't feel any way about it. I'm only going to feel upset about it because I want you to see me for me because I have feelings for you and I don't want you to see me as a family member. But we're trying to cover that and act like, I want you to see me as me. Yeah, because you have a thing for him. I mean, I guess that's just unspoken and we're just supposed to infer that, but it just seems like they're trying to cover it up and pretend she doesn't know she has feelings. I'm pretty fucking sure she knows. Because it's been pretty fucking obvious to us, so. I told him there was no reason to apologize, but that I was happy to hear how he thought of me now. He replied with his warm, enveloping smile. Thank you. Now then, let's finish up the rest of this work. If his smile's enveloping, I wonder what his arms feel like enveloping me. Days passed. I continued working at Evergreen to gather information for my article. One day, rain had kept most customers away, so we decided to close up early. It was the first time I had stayed so close. Normally, I left early to catch the last train home. This is the first time I'd stayed to close. Wow. Why did I read so close? Okay, too close. I was like, this doesn't make any sense, because I can't read. The other staff said their goodbyes and headed out, leaving Usui and I alone together in the bar. All right. Thanks to your hard work, I think we can close early today. In truth, I was worried that teaching me how to do everything made things take longer. But I was grateful for his reassuring words. Well done today. So are you getting used to things here? I see. I'm glad to hear things are going well for you. How's the article coming along? The what? Since he asked, I told him everything I'd learned so far. As I spoke with his customers and staff, I better understood Evergreen's appeal. The appeal isn't just the fact that he makes great cocktails and he's hot. Because that would be enough for me. I don't care if the man's married. I wouldn't like try to hit on him or anything, but I'd be like, he's fun to look at, so that's good enough. It's fun to come and look at. He's married. Good for his wife. But, like, I can at least look at the artwork that's hanging around the bar. I'm not going to try to pick it up and take it home, but, like, I can't help my eyes looking, is all I'm saying. Their responses helped me put into words all the things I loved about Evergreen, including this man. But I still had some questions about Evergreen that only Usui can answer. I don't mind. I could answer some questions for you now if you like. But you've got to catch the train. You're still okay on time? Good. We'll keep it short for today. I accepted his invitation and we agreed to conduct a brief interview after closing Evergreen. I asked questions and listened to Usui's responses, typing everything on my laptop. We chatted naturally about the topics I brought up until we came to my final question for the night. What made me decide to open Evergreen? I mean, you could have just recorded everything so you didn't have to type. And then you're like, I can listen back, and then you get to listen to his voice at home. I feared I might have intruded on another sensitive area, but eventually Usui began to speak, choosing each word carefully. I mean, I feel like, oh, it's a sensitive area. It's like, yeah, but if he was ever getting interviewed or anybody, that's a normal question people would ask. Oh, what made you decide to open a bar? How dare you ask? I mean, you run a bar. That feels like a question people are going to ask. You know what I mean? I've told you before that my family owns a small inn. Ever since I was a boy, I had always assumed I would take it over. When I saw the smiling faces of the customers there, it made me happy to know I'd one day make people smile too. He makes us smile, doesn't he? He does. I strongly felt that way. As he pulled on the threads of his memories, his face fell. He stared only at the floor. He looked sad. Oh, don't you just want to pet him and hold him? But things change. I had a falling out with my parents and I left. Eventually, I found work at an IT company. Did we find this out about him at one point earlier or something? And it was like, was it in his route or was it somewhere else? And we were like, excuse me, what? I wasn't expecting that. Was it Nahika's route? Where was it? Because I forgot about it. And then they said this and I was like, I should be more no, I'm not surprised about this because they mentioned this once before and I was surprised about it, but I forgot again. Work there wasn't bad, but I was left with this longing to return to the inn. I wanted to see people smile, and I wanted to make them smile with my own two hands. So I quit my job and started Evergreen. Was it because did he work for Tempesty? Is that what it was? Or he worked with... It was something like that, but anyway. The delicious food and drinks, the cozy atmosphere, but now we know that there is family drama. He had a falling out with his parents. About what? I knew that the influence of his childhood at the inn permeated this place and made Evergreen the place I loved so much. Looking back on it, there wasn't some cool story or reason for founding this place. I just missed home. Asui smiled with a hint of self-deprecation. That's so sad, though. But I disagreed with him. If anything, I'm happy you told me. Please tell me more. While I want to know more, I feel like now might not be the time to ask that. Like, tell me more. We know it's painful. Like, you could tell, like, he looked sad about it and he missed home and he had a falling out with his parents. It's like, you want to know more, but I don't know if now's the time to ask. So I'm happy you told me, is plain and simple for now, knowing that we can open the door to find out more later. I'm happy you told me. Good. Asui never revealed much about himself. Maybe that was because of his role as an owner here, or maybe it was just his nature. But I felt so happy to learn a little about him and longed to know even more. His likes, his dislikes, his thoughts, his life, his ambitions. I wanted to know everything that made him who he was. She's so fucking in love, and I don't blame her. You want to get to know me? A hesitant voice escaped Usui's lips. He tilted his head, looking confused. You mean for the piece, or personally? Bo? I froze. I wanted to know more about him personally, but I couldn't find the words to say that. Sorry, I shouldn't ask such a strange question. Of course you mean for the piece. And you're like, no! It's one thing to learn more about the bar, but nobody out there's going to be very interested in me, right? At that, I immediately blurted out that I did want to learn more about him because I wanted to be closer to him. Damn, girl's going for it. I mean, you gotta give her props because she always seems to say things that like, no, I want to know more about you because I'm in love with you. I mean, what? Never mind. Like, she gets embarrassed and shit, but she will say shit straight out. So, I'm gotta give her props for that. You shouldn't say things like that. Why, are you gonna throw me down and kiss me? Because I'm okay with that. I could get the wrong idea and try to close the distance between us. But that couldn't be what you want, could it? Oh my god, close the distance. I told him there was no mistake. I really wanted to be closer to him. Are we gonna get freaky now? On the floor of the bar? I just swept this thing. If you say that... Oh, his gaze troubled. He reached down and... CG? He covered my eyes with his hand. Please don't tease me. He whispered into my ear as he chided me, making my skin tickle. Who's teasing who right now? I was being honest and you're being the tease, and I'm so fucking here for this. He was close, but I couldn't see him, and I had no idea what he intended to do next. All I could hear was his voice and feel his body close to mine. What was he trying to do? Kiss him? You can never truly know the depths of someone's heart. I could be one step away from doing something terrible to you. You can't say shit like that. Like, you say terrible, but like, what? But like, what? Okay, It makes no sense coming from him at the moment. But it could be context for later that then, whatever, finding out that Kobase was a hoodlum. Still funny. So, you know what I mean? Where, you'd be like, were you accused of something inappropriate? Because I really hope not. Don't ruin him. Okay? Don't ruin Liquor Daddy. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, did your parents think something bad about you? Or, like, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like this is hitting on a very low level. The whole, like, oh, men are wolves. You can't come into my room. You never know what I'm going to do. It's like, you are an adult-ass motherfucking man. You can control your fucking shit, okay? Now, teasing me a little because, like, don't tease me like that. And you're going to tease me back. Okay, fine. I started this. I can take it. But you can't do this like, I could do something terrible to you. No, you're a grown-ass man. You're not 20 fucking 4, okay? Where it's like, okay, maybe figure your fucking shit out and don't act like that. You're 45 fucking years old. Or 42. I forgot to look at the other part, guys. I really did. I said I was going to and I forgot. Whatever. Okay? You're in your 40s. You know better. Don't act like a dick. Don't do this. Nuh-uh. I expect better when your fucking frontal lobe should be fully developed, sir. You know? Don't do this to Liquor Daddy. Like, right now, it's like, do something terrible to you. Terrible? Oh, like, are you saying terrible in a flirty way? Because, like, what ups? Okay. Okay, see, now you're just getting, like, slutty flirty, and I'm okay with that. Being alone with someone as beautiful as you, I'm afraid my self-control is limited. I'm okay with that. But he protected me from the drunkard on the street. He cheered me up when I was tired from work, gave me courage when I needed it the most. Listen, I'm okay with him being like, because I'm not taking that in this context as like, a woman walks in and he's going to throw her down and have his way with her like he's like that. You know what I mean? It's like okay, maybe you're attracted to me and now I'm teasing you a little and you're like, listen, I'm going to throw you down and have you on this table. But guess what? That's exactly the mode I'm in right now. You better throw me down and have me on this table right fucking now. We're on the same motherfucking page, so it's okay. You know? So I'm not going to take it in the like, oh dear God, I can't control myself. Yes, you can. Now we're flirting and you're trying to be naughty. I'm okay with it. Okay? Because we started the flirting. You know? We put up and now we're not going to shut up. We're going to keep going, right? Okay. No, Sui was a good man. He'd never do anything to hurt me. I would hope not. Because you've set him up as being good and chill, and I don't want you to all of a sudden turn and act like he's trash. Don't do that. Don't ruin him. We like trash, but I want to know that they're trash to start. Okay? So, does that mean you trust me? In that case, perhaps you need to learn a little bit more about men. His voice was filled with dismay, or perhaps resignation. Okay. Don't think just because she's young, she's never done anyone before. I mean, I've gotten the feeling in all the other routes when we've gotten freaky that she's not like, oh my God, I'm a wall, oh my God, he touched me. No, she goes for it. So it doesn't seem like she's a virgin. Okay? So, like, maybe she hasn't met every single type of scumbag out there, but that doesn't mean she knows nothing about men. Okay? But, like, I don't. No. I'm not. I'm iffy here. Because I love him, don't get me wrong. But now you're putting him in that territory of those guys who are like, oh, you came in my room and I can't control my penis. Yes, you motherfucking can. You're a goddamn adult. Control your fucking body parts. Okay? Seriously? Not my responsibility to control your body parts. And this kind of bullshit is kind of like not here for that. They're getting all like, oh, don't tempt me. Oh, you don't know. I don't know if I can control myself. Okay, we were flirting, so I'm okay with that if you're using that in a flirty way. Like, oh, you can't? Oh, okay. Like, that's fine. That's fine if we're bantering, we're flirting, we're throwing things out there, we're getting freaky, okay? And you're throwing out. Sure. But I don't necessarily know that that's where you were going. You're trying to quote unquote warn me, like, I'm a little old woman and I can't kick you in the fucking nuts. When it's flirty banter, I'm okay with it. When it's like warning because you think I need to be protected, don't act like that. Don't. Mm-mm. You know what I mean? But I don't really know. We don't really know what's underlying in his character yet to know if it's just like you're trying to push us away, so you're saying douchey shit, and it's like, well, just don't say stupid shit like that. Just be honest. You know what I mean? So we don't really know how they're going to go with it yet. So it might be forgivable. But right now it's just questionable. It's like, you know what? I don't hate you, but I'm questioning your motives right now. I'm questioning why they did this. They've made some questionable choices in this part. Okay? So I don't really know. I was puzzled by his tone and words, both so different from how he normally spoke to me. I felt him come closer, and something soft and cool pressed against my neck. Are you kissing my neck? Was he kissing me? Oh, dear God. I flinched in surprise, and Asui's hand slipped from my eyes. It wasn't his lips, but rather two of his fingers pressed together against my neck. Faking a kiss? That's weird. Right. Pretty scary, isn't it? You've got to be more careful and take this as a lesson. And please don't be so reckless with your words. I wasn't being reckless with my words. I meant it. And then you got flirty with me, and then you did some weird... Like, I just feel like they could have handled this better, depending on how they're going to try whatever's going to come out in his route, in his deep, dark secret. You know what I mean? Because everybody's got one. So, like, you're trying to kind of push me away, protect yourself, whatever. Sure. And maybe the why will explain it. We'll be like, okay, it makes more sense. It's still kind of douchey. But, like, I feel like there was a better way to handle this. You could have been like, you know, like, yeah, no. Like, or like, oh, you're going to flirt, you're going to lean in close, whatever. Then be like, seriously, you got to be careful what the fuck you say. So, you know, whatever. Like, you were just teasing me, whatever. But the whole warning me away and trying to scare me. Then that crossed into the, like, yeah, no territory. I feel like there was a way they could have started when you're getting flirty and saying shit. I was okay. I was there for the beginning. And then you kind of like fucked it over in the end. And it's like, now I'm questioning. I'm questioning the choice you made here. This is in its own little bubble, though. I'm not going to judge the man as a whole until we like get further. Don't ruin him for me. Don't ruin Liquor Daddy and make him one of those guys where you're like, ew, no. Don't do that. Okay? Well, we will take this little thing, put it in a little bubble on its own and be like, questionable moment. Started out okay. It started out kinky and flirty, and I'm here for it. Okay? And then it got a little awkward and strange. And we'll see what happens. And then maybe we'll still judge us and be like, no, that was still awkward and stupid and a bad choice on the writer's behalf. So it would just, right now, questioning their choice on this. So men have a tendency to take any kindness from a beautiful woman as a sign of affection. That is not untrue. Absolutely valid. You can't even be like, thanks for opening a door without them being like, oh, she wants to fuck me. No, you open the door and blinking at them signals that you're down to pound, which is just, men do really need to learn fucking boundaries and that, you know, the world does not actually revolve around that. More men need to go off to war and die, is all I'm saying. No, we know there's decent ones out there. They're just hard to find because the vocal majority are a bag of dicks. But no, he's not wrong here. Yes. But I was actually saying nice things to you because it was a sign of affection. So you're not necessarily wrong for interpreting my words exactly how I meant them. So, and you shouldn't open yourself up like that to a man you feel no affection for. And you shouldn't let them touch you so freely. Do you understand? The only thing I hate about this is I mean, it's valid, but at the same time, it's a 45-year-old man telling a 24-year-old woman like she doesn't fucking understand shit. And I don't necessarily like that. Like, I don't like the mentality that men feel like they need to warn women against men. We fucking know you're scumbags. We know. We're not stupid. You're blatantly all over the place talking about what a bag of dicks you are. That's why women choose the bear in the woods. Okay? Like, we know that you are just the worst in general. Okay? So, like, I don't like this mentality from any fucking man in games when they do this. Men are wolves, you have to watch out. Yeah, no, we get it, you all suck. But like, you know, but I feel like it's worse coming from an older man who just feels like, "Oh, well you're stupid and you don't know nothing about the world." Then you shouldn't want to fuck me later cuz then you'd think I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Like that I think that's the part that squicks me. It's not necessarily like, "Please don't make him that guy." Oh. Cuz that's annoying. But it's the you're that guy and you're older than me, so therefore you think I'm immature and stupid. So if you think that way, there is no point later that you should be like, actually want to fuck her. You think I'm too stupid to function right now because I don't understand the world, and yet you're going to want to fuck me later? Like, gross. You know? That's making this character ickier. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Like, if Monado was acting like this, or Saotome was acting like this, you'd be like, what a douche! Valid, but still, what a douche! You know what I mean? Because they're roughly your age, but a man that's older thinking that you're stupid and don't know this is like, no, don't do it. Don't make me hate this man. But like, they always have, why do they always insist on having this kind of shit in there? Why do they insist on this? Like, I feel like, all right. Anyway, I felt like he was scolding me. He is, and I don't like it. I wondered if Isui was thinking back to what happened with the drunkard in front of the bar. I pulled myself together enough to tell him I was sorry for worrying him. I wouldn't say I'm worried, but no, I wouldn't have said that. I'd be like, listen, I'm not a fucking moron. Like, what the fuck? You know, don't. No. Now she's not handling this well. His eyebrows knitted together as he looked back down at the floor and sighed. I feel like if you're gonna give me the whole spiel like this and then be like, I'm doing this because literally I can't control myself because I want to have sex with you, but it's like crazy because I'm way older than you and that's inappropriate, and then you're just assuming that I'm an idiot because you're trying to protect yourself by deflecting. Okay. All right, I'll let it slide. Dick move, but like everybody does something stupid and pulls a dick move once in a while, okay? We can all be huge dicks. All right? We all have stupid moments. We all do stupid shit. We all say stupid shit. And we can all be assholes now and again. It happens. All right? I will let it slide if you're like, I was just deflecting because, like, you were flirty like that. And I was like, God damn, I like this shit. And then, like, you know, whatever. And then I pulled a dick move. Okay. Valid. I will let it go. But if you're going to be like this the whole time, I don't know. You're going to ruin his route for me, and I don't like that. So, we'll see. Yes, perhaps worried is the proper word. Even men who come to Evergreen can sometimes get rowdy with women. You should be careful. Okay, I mean, as a bar owner and we're working at the bar, this is valid advice. Sure. Hey, just in case you've never been to I mean, and usually we come here alone. It's never really crowded. You know, he doesn't know the shit we have or have not dealt with outside of what he's seen. Okay, he's thinking back to the drunkard. He knows all the people that hang out at the bar, and he's seen what people are like. And then he's thinking we're just throwing things out there. But, like, also, you are treating me like I'm stupid, like I'm immature. And I, again, don't know if that's because you think I'm a toddler. No, don't touch the stove. It's hot. Okay. Yeah, I'm aware. You know what I mean? Like, by warning me out, against men, or it really is a deflection because don't say shit like that to me because I'm going to think you're serious. Well, I am. You know? Hospitality is essential, but there's a limit. I mean, that's not untrue. And that is valid, but I just, whew, I don't know. Mm, mm, yeah, it's not a great place to end it, but we're gonna have to end it. I don't, yeah, I don't really like the way that played out. I don't want him to be that guy. And again, the problem is that guy is always, you're like, oh, God, not this guy again. You know, you hate that shit. There's some times where they've done it in other games where they kind of handle it well, and you're like, you are not giving me that bullshit right now, you trash. And the trash goblins are the ones that do it, and you're like, well, you're absolute garbage, so of course I expect this shit from you, but go fuck off. You know what I mean? Where everything about them's trash. So when they say shit like that, you're like, yeah, no, I expect this shit from you. You know? Where you tolerate, you're like, yeah, no, I expect you to say douchey shit because you're just an asshole. Right? You know, when it comes from someone like Usui who's like a nice guy and then he says shit like that, and I don't mean nice guy, trademark air quotes around it. You know what I mean? He actually seems like a genuinely decent person. You're like, you know what? No. It gives you the little bit of the ick feeling. You're like, no, I don't like that. Also, the age difference gives you the ick feeling because you're like, now it's like you're talking to me like I'm a moron. Like if I were in this bar and this man was telling me this shit at my age, you gotta be careful what you say, man. I'd be like, are you fucking stupid? Do I look like I was born yesterday? I might not be the most attractive bitch in this room, but I am well aware that men are scumbags most of the time. Go fuck yourself, douche bro. What the balls? Seriously? No. Like, you're saying this because you think she's never seen a man, but you know what I mean? It's like talking to an alien and trying to explain to them how to use a microwave. You know what I mean? You're talking to me like I'm an idiot. Like you think I know nothing. And like, it's because she's young. And like, I get it as an older person that sometimes does think that younger people don't know shit sometimes. Because, honestly, learned experiences. Like, I get where he's coming from in that. Like, sometimes you were like, you do not understand some shit. But, like, I don't think that every single person in their 20s is a complete and utter moron. There's a lot of shit you don't comprehend about the world because you haven't experienced a lot of it yet. But, like, most women, okay, have dealt with men since the second they started puberty. And even before. Hi, we wouldn't have creepy people going to jail for inappropriate conduct with children if children didn't have to deal with this shit. And they shouldn't. So, like, don't try to talk to a 24-year-old woman like she's never met a single man before. She did not come from a planet of nothing but women, and this is her first day on Earth, where you have to be like, listen, the men folk, stay away from a majority of them, because they just don't. Bears are better. Okay? Like, you don't need to warn this bitch who's been on this planet for 24 years and has probably had some creepy dude creeping on her when she was a teenage girl. That's all I'm saying. Okay? She has met boys before. She has probably met at least one raging cockhole, okay? It's not like every single man she's ever met has been a gem. I mean, you know, yeah, the guys we work with are fine. Okay, Manano's a little bit of a dick, but, like, it's just personality-wise. He's not, like, inappropriate or creepy, right? You know, Santome's a little overeager, but he's just a labradoodle. So, like, none of them are creepy perverts, But just because we don't work with a creepy pervert doesn't mean she's never met a creepy pervert. And like we're literally existing and the guy outside the bar tried to attack us. She's not a moron, and I just don't like the men trying to warn women up against men. It's like, we are not stupid. We have all experienced that kind of shit before, or we know someone who's experienced that, or God forbid, we fucking listen to women when they open their mouths and speak, unlike you guys. So we either know a woman, or we know a woman who knew a woman, or we've heard stories, or we've seen it everywhere. We're capable of reading, comprehending, understanding, and listening, and we've heard millions of these stories of men treating women like garbage. We're not stupid. Okay? We're not stupid. She's not stupid. She didn't just get here yesterday. This is not her first. If this were her first day on Earth and she just came to life because she was a sentient teapot and now she's alive, just, whoa, hey, yesterday I was a teapot and now I'm here. I honestly, even if she was a sentient teapot beforehand, she's probably heard some shit. So she's probably still not fucking stupid enough to not know that men are dumbasses. Okay? I do not need you to teach me that, sir. Don't fucking do that. This is like a whole rant about like these fucking characters that think that women need to be warned. We do not, sir. If you think that we need to be warned, maybe talk to yourselves, talk to other men and be like, maybe don't be dicks. Maybe don't tell me to be responsible for you. Keep your penis in check. It's not my job. God damn. And you know what? There's always one of those guys in here and it drives me crazy, but why does it have to be Usui? Why did you make it him? And I shouldn't really be that mad about it because honestly, he could just be deflecting. Like, we're kind of saying these things and he's like, damn, I'm into it. And then was like, wait, no, you're not really into me like that. And like, doesn't honestly think that we could be interested because we're so much younger than him. Or he's also thinking, no, you're so much younger than me. And the age difference is weird. And he's trying to keep himself in check because he actually does maybe like, well, she's kind of hot, but nah, she wouldn't be into me. And like, it could be a deflection to protect himself and to kind of push us away. But it was just a poor choice. It was a poor choice on the writer's behalf to make him that guy, you know, especially with the age difference. You know, he could have teased and then been like, but no, seriously, don't say shit like that unless you mean it. Damn, girl. You know, he could have done it in a better way, I feel like. You know, but let's just hope, because I'm not gonna, maybe I'll record the next part tomorrow. I'll give myself a break to then hopefully forget about this a little bit so I'm not like, damn it, why'd you make me mad at him? I don't want to be mad at him. I want to like him. I want to go back to liking Liquor Daddy, okay? All right? So don't ruin him for me, game. Oh, God, I'm so afraid. Anyway, I will see you guys next time, and we'll see what happens. And remember to give the video a big thumbs up, even though they've trying to turn Liquor Daddy into a douche, and I don't like it. Anyway, subscribe to see more. Bye.